In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa. Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better understand the world as we evolve.
Yes, viewers, you are welcome. You are welcome to another beautiful Friday SSM International Update. My name is Godwin Iweajuwa. And as usual, we have our coordinators from different parts of the world. Joining me from Lagos, Nigeria is Ogbeni Olainkaraji. Ogbeni Olainkaraji, good morning.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, viewers around the globe. Welcome to our Friday program.
Welcome, my brother. Welcome. So, how are you today? It's a little bit sunny, but it's been raining. How is Lagos this morning? What's the weather?
Well, I woke up alive and cheerful. The weather is a little cloudy.
Okay.
It's actually threatening to rain.
It's threatening to rain. Okay. Yes. So let's talk about the weather also. There is an international update coming from the weather the central point of weather check, and they say that let's see this video, viewers, and we'll talk. Let's see this video. So the information we're getting is that the weather, the earth will be experiencing some very strong weather change. It also says that there will be some kind of solar storm. Solar storm is predicted to reach Earth coming week. I think by next week. So Raji, it's a serious thing. I don't know if you'd like to follow weather reports and all of this. They say it's a solar storm emergency is what it's called. Some major predictions are coming, and some storm will hit Earth very soon. It might even result to blackouts and some communication breakdown in some countries, mainly across the West, America and Europe. So this is what we're hearing as the before us today. Raji, you think all of these will affect Africa? Solar storm, they call it.
Sometimes I believe in ignorance is bliss. Before we had all these communications and all this technology to actually look into space and see what is happening, the same things were happening. The same thing, nothing has changed. The world has been as it is. The sun has been flaring, and there have been flares and storms all over. But now we are able to assess it. We are able to see it. We are able to see asteroids as meteors as they come towards the Earth, most of which misses the Earth. We've seen all these things. As far as Africa is concerned, Africa has been so lucky, so lucky in that all these climatic changes rarely ever affect Africa directly. And for the West, because of the amount of electronics that are now in existence, any flare that is electromagnetic will actually affect all electromagnetic equipment, which are so concentrated in the Europe and America, and
Mm,
in China and most of Asia. Africa is essentially a telecommunication virgin, and therefore there isn't much that will affect us. And if it happens, I'm sure we can always revert to our life that has been uncomplicated, simple, long before
mm,
now. I don't think it will be going to affect Africa so much. And I think that even the US and the West that may be affected are preparing for such emergency, and are putting in place some some processes that will ameliorate the effect of those solar flares.
mm. Raji, it looks as if you had a department in meteorology and the weather, all these things. Your take on this is so profound, so deep. Yes, indeed, the scientists are warning, and like you said, obviously some of them are prepared also, because when they see this thing, it actually happens. Most, yes, it could be a prediction, but it happens in most cases. Like last year, I remember we had some of those flares that came on planet Earth, and it affected us like here in Europe. The heat was extreme, weather changes, and so many unusual environmental impacts. So you said this so well, and yes, indeed, Africa has always escaped these most of these solar storms and weather problems. It's interesting to know that yes, we escape, we are on the safe side when it comes to those things. Thank you, Raji. Thank you for that
Yes.
update. So,
Mm.
viewers, that's what we got as at yesterday. Scientists are warning that humanity should be prepared for extreme space weather
Mm.
change, because there'll be a smash coming from the solar storm on
So,
Earth
so,
by
so
next.
now,
Mhm.
Mark, before you go further,
Okay.
just like there was something uh, in 20, is it 2020 or before,
Hmm.
that predicted COVID? This
Okay.
also has been predicted. I don't know whether
Okay.
it's a conspiracy or it's preparing us the same way
Yeah.
COVID, we are
COVID.
prepared for COVID, so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
when the clampdown comes, which may be something that the WEF is trying to do.
Okay.
So it's just a warning for us
Is a
that,
warning.
look, it's either the other nature or it will be precipitated by the WEF for effect.
Mm, for effect. Okay. Nice one, Raji. Thank you very much. So, viewers, you can see that we are all rounder here. We do weather, we do science, we do communication, we do business, sport, everything, every issue, whatever it is that is an occurrence on planet Earth, we talk about it on SSM. And today, Friday, the 23rd, we're talking international updates. Raji, let's do a little of the local news, hoping that the other colleagues will join. There's a breaking news coming from Nigeria, River State, precisely. They say Tinubu is seeking the Senate to approve his 1.48 trillion naira budget for River State. River State. We know River State has been in the news for too long. I mean, the Fubara Wike story and all that. So that didn't allow the state budget to be open, But that wasn't fair on Wike to think about it, Raji. I mean, how could you withhold money that should be paid to civil servants, workers, and everything, and create that distribution of wealth and economy in the River State? How can you withhold that? So tell us, Raji, what's this news about the Senate Tinubu seeking for approval?
Yes,
Yeah,
because the state has been put under a state of emergency.
okay.
The running of the state now is now in the hands of the National Assembly.
Mm.
But the state of emergency itself, ab initio, was illegal, was immoral,
Okay.
was indecent. And
Mm.
it's surprising to me that a lot of Nigerians have, seem to have been cowed by this creeping autocracy from the central government headed by Tinubu. We have so
So,
much, Tinubu himself
uh-huh.
has so much to do about the country. Why is he now carrying the problem of River State? When the River State has an assembly, has a governor, and
No, no.
which has been.
Remember that it's now in a state of emergency.
I told you, I
So
said
the
that before. I
administrator.
said that before. I said that
Okay.
before. That even
So
the
because.
state of emergency is
Uh-huh.
illegal, is unconstitutional, is indecent, is immoral.
Mm.
The federal government has enough on its plate to deal with than to be
Uh, but,
carrying the
but, but
problem of River State.
yes, but the man to blame, if there's anybody to be blamed, is the the man that calls himself the emperor. Because he made the state of emergency. He came out and publicly said it. Viewers, we're not just saying making allegation. He said it that he told Tinubu. In fact, he said he wanted a complete withdrawal of power from the governor. To continue this discussion, viewers, let's bring in our man from Toronto, Canada, Sir George Chuku. So, George, we know we're the only one that wake you up at this time of the day. Sorry for this. George, we can hear you. I think okay. While George fixed his earpiece, Raji, the man to blame is not even the Tinubu, because now obviously the federal government takes over when there's a state of emergency, so he has that power to do some of these things, because the administrator there is still under him, in that state of emergency condition. So, but what we're saying is also, for too long, the state has suffered without funding. Sir George, can you hear
Can you hear me
us?
now?
Voila.
Is it
Yes.
okay? Beautiful. Good
Good.
morning.
Good. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, I just want to greet everybody. Good morning, all the way from Toronto, Canada. Viewers from around the world, welcome you to our show this morning and the World
Nice.
Affairs.
World affairs. And also joining, George, are you with BD in the same room? Because joining
Uh,
us from Lagos, Nigeria is BD Nana.
she loves me so much.
BD.
Whenever I show up, she will have to support me.
Nice.
Good morning, everyone. Our viewers all around the world. Thanks for having us again today. Let's do it together.
We are connected
Good.
in the spirit.
Yeah, yeah, you guys are. I mean, it's interesting. He came in and she came in too. And, you guys are welcome.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful Friday out here, and it's good to see you. Didi, you're looking good, looking as
Yes.
usual. Yes. We were saying something before you guys came in. It's the breaking news from Rivers State. Tinubu seeks that the Senate approves 1.3 trillion budget for Rivers. We know today is International Day, but because it's a breaking news, we want to run with it before we come into the other news. So, George, let's hear from you. What this means is River State has all along been without, the state has been going without fund, and that's terrible. That's a very wicked act by whoever powers that are doing that, because it means families have not been paid, civil servants have not been paid, families are not eating, things are not, people are not taking care of the citizen. George, what do you say?
When you look at this, what's happening in Nigeria, and when you look at this particular administration and everything else that is happening, it begs the question: what are we doing?
Mhm.
Where are we going? What has become to the normalcy that we had in the past when it comes to democracy? I'm not quite sure that I do understand. Another question is, okay, 1.3 trillion is
Mm-hmm.
being budgeted for River State for what? For what purpose? The money that they were supposed to be paid for, was it not being held somewhere? Must it be approved to be
Mm-hmm.
paid back to them? I'm
Mm-hmm.
just wondering because when you say that 1.3 trillion is being approved, it was
Mm-hmm.
their money to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
The federal
Mm-hmm.
government had no need to go to the House to approve any amount. The money was supposed to be set aside for them, though it was not being given to them. So, my
Okay.
question now is, if that money was allocated for the River State government and it
Mm-hmm.
was never given to them, are they going to be paid that money with interest? Is that
Okay.
what this is? Because think
Mm-hmm.
about it for a moment. If a salary is supposed to be paid to an individual and that salary is being withheld, where is the money being withheld at? Is it yielding interest? So this
Interest.
approval, it
Mm.
is it really the money that was withheld, that was kept somewhere, accruing interest, and then all of a sudden is being approved to be given to them? In the first place, why was it withheld and why should it be withheld? Because there are individuals, people, civil servants, and all kind of government parastatals that are supposed to be paid. So it's an act of wickedness that whoever orchestrated and is behind all of this thing, I don't know how what kind of conscience humans do have when they are instituting and operating in a certain type of way that doesn't even make any sense. So
George.
it's just a question.
George, you just said it so right. Anyway, BD, the president request was contained yesterday in at the floor of the Senate, and we know that it will still take some process, and people are suffering. Uh, Families, civil servants, like George said. What's this whole thing, BD? Tell us. You're there and you follow this news. Hmm.
When, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, we can. Yeah,
Can
go
you,
ahead.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
the first thing that came to my mind when I had this, that River State have never had this amount of money before. So
Okay.
what are they trying to tell us? Are they trying to tell us that the military system of government is not better for the rivers people? Or maybe probably will be better for Nigerians because they've never had this amount of money they are going to approve to them now. Yes, like Sir John said, that is actually one of the reasons Fubara was having problem with Wike. The federal government withhold River State money. So, but my own question is this humongous amount of money, what are they telling us? Are they telling us that military system of government will benefit states better than the democratic system of government we claim to be practicing in Nigeria? Because the amount of money they are saying they have approved for River State, they've not approved such an amount of money for them before. So that's just my honest question. What are they trying to tell us?
Yes, Raji is talking. Raji, go ahead.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it may be an accumulation of all the monies that they should have uh, given to River State since
Mhm.
the beginning of the year. It may be an accumulation of all the monies that they are now putting together.
Okay.
The
So,
question,
so,
the question, the
uh-huh.
question. Listen to this. Listen to this. When there is a constitutional provision that is given to every particular state, and one state is being withheld back, are you telling me that when the time comes for River State to be paid, that they just stopped paying and the money is not coming out of government bank account and is being withheld? So if that is the case, the money belongs to them already, because constitutionally they were supposed to be paid this money. So why is it that they are going back to the House for them to approve the release of this type of money? There's something fishy about. Think about it quite naturally. If, okay, you're being paid a salary, your salary is being withheld. Okay, where was that money held? Who approved
Now,
was it okay, maybe I'm just asking questions, okay?
now, now,
Because
now
or maybe
maybe I should
let
explain
me
this.
finish so you can answer now. Or maybe was who approved the withholding of this money from the from the River State government?
Please, before the declaration of emergency, the budget of the state was being presented by the governor. But
Mhm.
because of the problem they have with the House of Assembly, the State House of Assembly, they could not sit to approve the budget. So
Okay.
essentially, what is being presented is an improvement on the budget that Fubara had wanted to present before, with some additions to it. The funds belonging to River State that have been withheld since January is still in abeyance. It's still there.
Mm,
It's still there. We will have to come to that at one
mm,
point.
mm.
But
So
but
that
what is
money
happening now is the budget.
is that the
It's
money they
different
are
from the
now
budget
approving?
that is being presented now. It's different from the budget. Every state has presented its own budget. River State couldn't present its budget because of the problems in the house. Now,
Okay.
since the ministry administrator was imposed on them by the state of emergency, the budget which
Mm.
should have been presented since January is now being presented. It's now being
Yes.
presented by Tinubu, who has more on his plate to attend to than to be fishing in troubled waters.
Okay. I think Reggie has put those questions well. Reggie, thank you. You're obviously following that story. So we have so hopefully today, Friday, let's pray the Senate is able to approve and go ahead with executing the allocation meant for the Rivers people. My own take here is on um, the side of the civil servants salary and people not being paid because there's commotion in the state, imagine, and they are working. Anyway, guys, let's move on to more stories from the Nigerian side again. uh INEC says they are approving the creation of an AI department to check false narrative. So INEC is now interested in the negative impact stories fly around them than the result of election that should be accurate and given to people. Let's talk about this. George, INEC says AI to check narrative. Now, the narrative they are talking is the kind of stories Nigerians are hearing about them, the kind of information people are getting. It has nothing to do with accuracy in their polling, in their voting and balloting and all that. George, is that not interesting?
That's absolute stupidity. They forget they forget that AI can only give you what you give it. If you don't give AI nothing, AI will not give it back to you. AI is not a natural, have a soul and a heart. If I keep on feeding AI anything negative, it will take it as facts. When and I check it, it will not present it as facts. So why not they just go and try the number one, Yakubu, who is the head of INEC, needs to go. They need to come back, change the whole entire structure of this particular INEC situation. That this is the same man who came out and told us all kinds of lies in our own face as if we are stupid and fools, and turned around and did the exact opposite thing, and up until today could not tell us anything. I don't want to hear anything about this nonsense AI to check facts. What kind of facts are you checking? The facts are there that you did not tell in the very first place. You lied to the whole entire nation in our own very face. So what is it that they are saying? They need to change, bring the whole entire organization refurbish it, change the whole and from beginning to the end. So I don't want to hear anything like this. This is just a way for no. Listen to this. This is a way for them to ask for more money, and they're gonna spend more money. That's
yes,
That's
absolutely.
all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. It says INEC approved the creation of AI department to mitigate negative impact on Nigerian during the next 2027 election. Gentlemen, before I go further, I want to show you something. Viewers, you're about to see something that SSM took time to do. Now, what we did is we got the IREV machine. What you see here is that same machine that was used last March, February 27 to vote. IREV, this works. We had to buy this. It costs about $200 to get this thing I'm holding. Now, what we did was also to go through the installation, the configuration, and everything. And we saw how perfect this gadget works. This is the IREV. So it's interesting that, and we take note that this was bought by INEC, and not small amount of money, running to billions, so that it could be used all over the polling center in Nigeria. This same machine, exactly same structure, same gadgets, everything. Now this thing doesn't fail. Once you've configured it, it works the way you've done it. So we did this actually to understand what INEC is doing, so that we can also follow in some of their lies and understand how they are lying, to Nigerians. So this is the IREV. This is the Beaver machine. This is that machine that was used last February 25, 2023. So BD. Now we're talking AI, and we've not been able to use this gadget, this one that can be handled. Now we want to go into the cloud system, the more higher configurating system. Do you think this will work? Nigerians are listening.
Can you hear me? Can you?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, we can hear you.
A country that have not been able to provide a stable electricity wants to give you AI for your election. You know what this thing says? This is telling us the kind of classic rigging we're going to have come 2027. Now, let me tell you a story. Before 2019 election, there is nothing like fake news in Nigeria. APC manufactured fake news. And it's so unfortunately that they were the architects of fake news. They were the people who were bringing in fake news, manipulating Nigeria, using propaganda, but they named it fake news. APC, it is there. And that same thing is what they want to do. See, let me tell you, INEC is an institution in Nigeria. It's supposed to be an independent. They call it independent. But there's nothing independent about INEC. INEC over the years in Nigeria has been run like a personal business. They are coming to tell us, jab us with AI when ordinary electricity cannot provide. See, the best AI INEC need in Nigeria is integrity, truthfulness. That's what they need, not AI. They should go inside and put their house in order. Nigerians don't trust INEC again. That is why they say, if you don't vote, they will charge you to court, they will jail you, or you pay 100,000, because they know that they've lost that integrity. Nigerians don't want to vote again. Nigerians are planning on boycotting election, and they are coming up with all these things. And look at what you said now. Just that one machine costs about $200. Do you know what this thing is doing to our economy? This is why an average Nigerian is suffering. They will use the money that average Nigerians use to better their life. They are using it to waste it in their lies, in their deceit, in their propaganda. I beg. I think we should be talking about. Anyway, I don't blame them. I blame we Nigerians, because we are allowing them do this thing and get away with us. Did you see the kind of electoral form they say they are going? APC have appointed all their members in all the states. Watch out and see what is good. Now they're trying to make Bola Ahmed Tinubu a sole candidate, enforcing him on us, making Nigeria a one-party system, and they're telling us they want to put AI.
No.
Like, I like what Sister George said. What is AI? AI is what you put into it, is what you put out. So they're going to put lies, deceit into that AI, giving it to Nigeria.
But the question is, the question, can I just let me add to what she's saying. You see my phone here.
Okay.
You see my phone. Automatically, AI is already there. Automatically, everything that I do now is operated by AI. A regular phone, I didn't apply it. I did not put it in there. So let me tell you something. You see, this is another avenue for them to steal money. Let money be allocated to them so that they can use that humongous amount of money to do nothing. Because, telling me you're going to employ AI to do what? AI is a common thing right now. Even children are using AI. So why are you applying it? Why are you trying to, go ahead, Raji.
Make it look like what?
Now, the Yoruba people have a saying that only God can judge the person who shares meat with his teeth. Because when you put the meat in your teeth and you are sharing it, nobody knows how much is left in your mouth. God save us. God save us from APC. As BD mentioned, APC was the forebearers of false news, disingenuous misinformation in Nigeria. They disrupted the whole mentality of Nigerians to the set that when an APC man tells you good morning, you have to go out and look. Is it really morning? Because they are not to be believed. And everything that Tinubu had fought against when he was in the so-called opposition is exactly what he's doing now. Exactly what he's doing. All things he worked against is what he's applying now. You have to be careful. You have to be careful with the creeping autocracy, with the dictatorship, with the flagrant disregard for simple ethics, simple decency in governance. You have to be very, very careful. There's creeping autocracy, and it is getting into the psyche of every Nigerian to such an extent that almost every party is now going towards Tinubu as for 2027. It is unthinkable. In fact, I find it so indecent.
Allah Karaji, you're talking about Jagaban. Biggest number one of Igbo land.
It is not right. Tinubu is behaving like he's actually rampaging now. He's rampaging, and you better be careful.
You know the funniest part of all this?
Yes.
I have never seen our president come out and point and say, do this, do that. Oh, I changed this, I changed that. Oh, I don't want this to happen. I don't want that to happen. All we are seeing, people are afraid to rise against Tinubu Wike government. People are afraid to rise up and say, oh, this is the way things are going. Who is forcing all these people jumping into APC to jump? Why is it? Did Tinubu call them on the phone and threaten them? I don't see any sign of those. So if you really think about this, I'm just wondering what is going on in our political system in Nigeria. Because I have never seen the man call anybody and say, okay, you better come to my own. No.
It is the way of autocratic governance that even the machinery around it will feel that this is what the president wants us to do. And then when it happens, the president will just take it as what has happened, what the people want. Because what is happening is even worse because it is getting into the psyche of people. So that people are not even able to say no.
Say no. All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much. It's actually Friday, International Day, but because these issues are on the burner and they are crucial matters to be discussed, we're discussing them. But let's come from the break and we come into some more international updates. Thank you.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Hi there, I'm Mary Keurig, and I am a businesswoman in the United States, but I'm also the Global Content Vice President for the Sub-Saharan Open University in Nigeria. I could not be prouder to work with Dr. Osita Anamika and his team on helping to create not just entrepreneurs and skill-based talent that will get out into the workforce and make a living for themselves, but also young leaders. And to that end, with this integrity-rich university environment that's accredited now, and it's just an amazing opportunity for anyone there of any age to jump on board and learn, we want to let you know about a new offering that we have. We have a global governance and diplomacy course now provided by a whole team of people that crosses several countries to put together these resources and lots of great information for those of you who might be on the path toward public service and diplomatic service, NGO leadership, that sort of thing. We hope that you will walk through this open door and enjoy.
Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better understand the world as we evolve.
Yes, viewers, you tune back to SSM Friday, the 23rd of May, 2025. George is here, Raji is here, and we know Diva BD somewhere by the corner. Raji, we were talking about the plane crash. Several people dead as plane crashed in California neighborhood. George, what's that story? It's crazy. And Raji will tell us what he said earlier. Go ahead, George. George, we can't hear you. Anyway, viewers, what you're seeing is the impact carnage from that plane crash. It was revealed that 10 houses were burnt down by the heat, and many people that in those homes were also treated. About 100 people have been evacuated from that neighborhood, not east of the city of San Diego. George, we still can't hear you. We can't hear George. Okay. Anyway, Raji, tell us. You were saying some things about this crash. What could have caused this?
The crash is unfortunate, and my condolences go to those who lost their lives and property in that crash. Now, I was looking at the area of the crash, how devastating it was for a small plane. But I think it was a Cessna plane that crashed. And I was just trying to compare it with the 9/11 crash of the Boeing 777 that crashed into the Pentagon.
Okay.
If you look at the devastation that has happened with that small plane, compared with what happened with the Pentagon, it seems to me that no plane crashed into that Pentagon.
Okay, you are doing a comparison of the impact and all that.
Yeah.
Well, that one is you're funny. Anyway, this one is real. We don't know much about the conspiracy you're trying to pull out there,
This one
but
is real.
this one is
That
real.
one,
And
that one is questionable.
a lot of people have been affected by this
Yeah.
one. It's to the viewers. It says that several people are dead as a plane crashed into a neighborhood in California, and houses burned down. A lot of evacuation going on, even up till now. People are being treated at the scene, like you can see in that video. All right, so let's come into other stories. George, we didn't hear
Yeah,
you earlier on. Can you hear us
yeah,
now?
yeah. I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Yeah, the death
Okay.
in San Diego is very
Yes.
a tragic situation with that plane
Mhm.
falling into this thing. But
Mhm.
I think from what I was reading, the plane stopped somewhere to refuel before
Okay.
heading towards that direction, and
Mhm.
then all of a sudden, they lost control of the plane and just landed into a bunch of buildings and the roads on the two sides where he fell. There was no they couldn't allow any vehicles because a lot of vehicles caught on fire because of the
Mhm.
jet fuel that
Mhm.
spreaded all over
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
place.
All over the
And
place.
I believe that everybody in the flight died.
Yes,
That's my
we're still to
understanding.
know. Yeah, we're
The
still to
number,
really find out the accurate number of people
number,
dead, but
yes,
many people.
that's what it was being
Mhm.
reported yesterday.
Mhm.
That's right.
Okay, so George, maybe by Monday we'll have some real a good update on that. Thank you, George, for that. Let's also come to the Israeli embassy staff that was shot. Young couple that were killed outside the Israel embassy in Washington D.C. Jewish couple, Israeli citizen, not Jewish. Police said the two of them, a husband and a young couple, were killed by a man that was shouting, "Free Palestinians! Free Palestinians!" One Elias Rodriguez. Raji, we know for sure that young people, I mean, personnel of government offices, are not directly involved in decision making. So why do you want to kill one of them because you're trying to make a cause, say something,
If you,
when
if you,
these
if
people
you,
don't even have any impact?
if
Uh-huh.
you say that, I'll ask you,
Hmm.
what did the UN personnel in Gaza do that they were targeted by the Israeli forces and killed?
Okay.
More than 200 non-Gazans, non-Palestinians who are doing work in Gaza have been targeted and killed by Israeli forces. Now this issue has become a global issue, and therefore I'm not surprised that somebody else is taking it on any Israeli that he is able to reach, since he cannot reach the Israeli government.
And
You know,
interestingly, that name. Go ahead. Go ahead.
it is so sad that sometimes how I just wonder what kind of conscience we are operating in. That a couple was just innocently civilians killed by a madman, and we're trying to bring in Gaza killing in a war zone. It doesn't. I mean, I don't understand. Is this a
Please say
justification?
your
Is this a
opinion. Say your opinion and do
is
not
it a
talk about my
justification?
opinion.
No, I'm
This
just
is my
asking.
opinion.
That's what I'm
More
saying.
than 200,000 people
No,
have been killed in Gaza.
I am
The whole
asking
of
you a
Gaza is
question.
is is on is starving.
Uh,
More than a
who
million people are on starvation. And you are
is
talking to
this?
me. You are
Is this a
the
justification
life the
that
life
it
of
is
a
right?
Palestinian is as
Can I
high as
talk?
the
Can I
life of
talk?
any
I'm
Israeli man.
asking a question. You're over talking me. That's that's not civil. What I'm saying is this: a couple, innocent couple that works for an embassy, was gunned down. A couple, a man and a woman that is supposed to be getting married soon, and we are not saying condolences to their family. This is just an atrocity that just took place. we are bringing in people that were killed in the war zone to justify the killing of these people. You see, this is the reason why the world can never be a place, a peaceful place.
The assassin, the guy who killed them, what did he say? If there were no issues in Gaza, these people will still be alive.
Ukraine.
More than 100,000 children have been killed. More than 100,000 bodies are still under the rubble in Gaza.
So you are supporting Rodriguez for killing this innocent couple.
This
is that what you're
unfortunate
saying?
Killing of this young couple.
Oh, you call it unfortunate now, eh? Oh, you're calling it unfortunate. Okay, thank you that your tone is changing. Because
my tone is not changing. It's the same. Okay. I'm telling you the same thing. I'm still linking it to Gaza. Because if there was nothing wrong in Gaza, there won't be any killing in anywhere outside Gaza of Israelis.
Let me ask you a question, or I interrupt.
Please do.
Let's just say that Nigeria is just in the same position as Israel.
I'm asking you a question. Don't ask me a hypothetical question. Ask me
families
a clear question.
Ask me a clear question. Stop over talking people. You're being rude.
You are talking hypothetical.
No, okay. I'm asking you if this couple, one of them were your children.
It doesn't matter.
How would you feel?
It doesn't matter. You are still talking hypothetical.
Your
you are talking
because you are talking hypothetical. I don't understand you at all. Anyway, on my own.
Please, can you not make this personal? Can you please say your own opinion and let's move on.
Gentlemen, we've not talked on the thing so far.
My special condolences to the family to begin with.
Okay, very good.
But number two, yes, indeed, the madman who killed this couple will face justice because he turned himself in after killing them. And we know that this is influenced by demonic activities because no sane individual, regardless, will take a gun and go and see two innocent people walking on their own, pass them, turned around and shot them. It is not normal. Under no circumstances. This person has been demonized, and that is exactly the resulting consequences of allowing demonic activities to happen in people's life. And anybody that justifies this is also demonized because there is no justification of any kind.
All right, Judge. Thank you. Viewers, that's it. These are the two couples, young couple that worked for the Israel embassy that were shot outside a Jewish museum in Washington on Wednesday. Sad story. The man has been taken up. The shooting suspect, Elias Rodriguez, has been.
The Israeli has done worse.
Of first degree
outside Gaza,
murder.
Outside Palestine.
First degree murder. All right, gentlemen, let's move on to other stories that we want to look into.
Yeah, some of our
Israeli life is worth more than a Palestinian life.
In some of our books,
let us get that clear.
In some of our books, two wrongs make right. Two wrongs equals.
All right, gentlemen. There's another story I want us to look into, and that is what Trump said. Trump says he wants to turn the United States into a crypto mining capital of the world. This was during his campaign. He said this, but you see, it's coming with a kind of backlash and reaction. And it's coming from his own people, the Megan people that voted for him. Because what that means is a lot of those the outskirts of states in America, a lot of those areas where these Republicans live, are going to be turned into mining center for cryptocurrency. And that means noise of that machine, roving all over their town. That means also a large chunk of electricity that will be used in mining Bitcoin. So why we're bringing up this story is because some of those Republicans that believe in Trump don't believe in this his plan. And this is what he has as a plan. So, George, do you think he can do what he wants to do, not minding reaction of his followers, because they are really giving a lot of reaction now. They say they don't want those things running in their towns.
The only thing that can stop Trump
Mm-hmm.
or can slow him down is when the election comes around. You know, the midterm election.
Midterm election.
That's the only thing that can slow him down. If not, he's like a freight train moving so fast that nothing can stop him. Whatever he wants, he's been trying every single thing. You know, define the constitution, doing whatever he feels he wants to do, and he tries it. And a lot of his cases are in court anyway, but nothing can slow him down. The only thing that can ever slow him down, and then you see the Republicans come against him, is the midterm when they lose a lot of seats in both houses. That's the only thing. But anything else, you know, it comes to his mind, or somebody comes to tell him something. You saw what happened yesterday or a couple of days ago with Ramposa. You know, I mean, where he set up this man and just, you know, the man was sitting at the edge of his seat anyway. So it was such a sad situation. But this is a man who does what he thinks, regardless of what anybody else thinks. So that's what we're saying. It doesn't. The only thing that can slow him down is midterm elections. That's it.
That's it. Raji, it's a beautiful idea to begin to think virtually, making wealth virtually, this Bitcoin and all of these things, mining and all that. But and he has that plan to make America become like so. But when there are reactions like this, it will really affect his plan. And yes, tell us.
I cannot see how Bitcoin will take over paper money.
Okay.
Because the traditional banking system gives you a certain assurance of some physical locations where you can find your bank. Bitcoin, you don't even know where the main server is and where the central location is. And anything could happen to your investment in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is so ephemeral that it can evaporate at any time. There have been so many cases of Bitcoin crashes and things where people have lost billions of dollars in Bitcoin. The losses may not be up to what is happening in traditional banking, but the losses will rise as more people come onto Bitcoin.
Okay. By the way, why is this man into Bitcoin? Why? Have you asked yourself that question? The only reason why he is promoting Bitcoin is this is a way for him to accumulate insurmountable amount of wealth without being traced. That's the only interest that Trump has. He can hide money and nobody will know it. That is exactly the only reason why he is promoting Bitcoin, because he's already found out that this is a way I can make trillions of dollars and nobody will find out what is really happening. So that's exactly it. Now, if the government of the United States is saying they all need to rise against this and stop this nonsense, because it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Is the reason why Bitcoin is still thriving in Nigeria, because it's an avenue where most of our civil servants and government officials hide humongous amount of money that they steal from the system.
You're both opening up
untraceable. Untraceable.
You're both opening up very big information here. Viewers, you're hearing this from, it's not naysaying, or these are facts. Raji is in the system there, so he knows what's happening. And George is telling us what is happening also from the other end. So anyway, his people are the ones also saying they don't want that mining in their town. They are not even looking at it as the laundry thing. They are looking at the noise, the pollution, the
amount of energy.
Yeah, their town's electricity consumption. Their town will become something else. You know, these are conservative that want to remain in their quiet towns and enjoy their lives.
And then Massive Mark, you know, the World Economic Forum had predicted a certain glitch that could knock down all electronic systems and wipe out almost every data. So
It's
if you
coming.
put your money in Bitcoin, which is not traceable, you may not be able to trace it after they reset. And they are looking for a reset. They are going to go for it.
And it happens even now, even before that major one happened. It's happening. A lot of people lose everything they have when they can't find their password, when they have to reset, and everything goes.
Yes.
So it's a very crazy money system, monetary system. All right, gentlemen, let's look at something else again. It looks like Africa is beginning to deal with those that embezzle fund. We had that a former DRC Congo Prime Minister, one Bonyo, a minister, has been sentenced to 10 years with hard labor for embezzling for $245 million. That sounds like a good news for stealing. George, tell us, what do you say?
It's only predicated that if this whole entire saga is true, because the man has been crying from the day that this, they brought these allegations against him, that this is politically motivated.
Okay.
And they were bringing quite a few number of people with them, and they were denying those things, that they never did anything. So this money was actually money that was allocated for agricultural improvement in the country. And so they were saying that the man is claiming that the allegations against him is simply because he refused to do some things that they politically they wanted him to do, and therefore they came against him, over this situation. And so if it is true that he embezzled the money, that it was not politically, when you talk about political motivation, the political motivation could also be as a result of the opposition who were not in government but now are in government, and then they go and start looking at some of the atrocities that you did in the past and then come against you. So that could be a political motivation also, but that does not mean that you are innocent. So all we are saying is it is a good news if indeed he embezzled the money and he was found guilty by a fair and equitable and just court, and then he's facing this situation.
Sir George, a question for you. Have you ever found a government, a new government persecuting the former government in Africa? Hardly ever do you find it. Hardly do you find it, because the incoming government will use the same system that the former government used to embezzle money. So the structures, so there's this any government in power, that is always a structure that is available for the next government.
Any government in power.
I understand that. I understand that. But you see, because most of the time, what happens, there is a negotiation prior to exiting, and then the incoming. So, and most of the time, it's all about a common level of understanding that profits the outgoing government and the incoming government. For instance, in our own situation, a promise was made to Jonathan that no prosecution will come to him, that he is immune. All you need to do, hand over the government to the north and let Buhari be the government. A promise was made to him, and that's why he considered the election. So
not so much because there were so many skeletons in his cupboard, but because for the sake of the country, he has said that not a drop of blood will he allow to be shed just because he wants to be president. And
that's true.
It was not done in good conscience, my brother. It was not done in good conscience.
Whatever.
He was pressured into it, number one. Number two, he could have won the election because they don't, how the election go.
So we are saying the same thing now. We are saying the same thing. Not so much that he was so guilty, but the fact that for the safety
they
and
could
the
have found a
decency,
way They could have
Yes.
found a way to put him down, but he was
Yes.
promised immunity. So
Yes.
he's sitting pretty.
Okay, good one, George. Thank you, Raji. Let's do two more and we're out of here. George and Raji, there is the breaking news yesterday evening that finally the federal government have sued Natasha Akpoti Ugduaga, if a suit filed before Federal High Court in Abuja. So what this means is Apabio, Yahaya Bello are all going to testify against the lady.
Before going too far, there have been cases of more than 1,000 cases against Boko Haram insurgents as far back as 2017. The Department of Public Prosecution did not find it expedient or necessary to continue with those prosecutions, but the federal government is taking a personal matter on itself to prosecute because the case is between Natasha and Akpabio. So how come that is the federal government now that is prosecuting?
Can you imagine?
This is clear witch hunting. This is clear witch hunting.
George, you understand what Raji is saying?
Of course, of course.
But Raji, I think the simple answer is since it's Senate, the man there is.
It is not the federal government. It is not. It is a personal matter between Akpabio and Natasha Akpoti. It's not the federal government. And even in fact, a lawyer has put. I'll send the message onto the platform where I said that look, there's a case where the federal government is supposed to take over of prosecutions of all matters, but in a case like this, how can you use the resources of the government to prosecute a personal matter when you are giving the same reason of lack of resources in not prosecuting Boko Haram insurgents, whom you know?
George, are you on Raji's side?
Of course, I am on his side. I am on his side. You know, the funny thing.
Thank God you are on the same side this time.
No, think about it for a moment. This is just a joke. They have bastardized the governmental system, the political system in Nigeria. Bastardized it to the point of, it's a shame. It stinks. Think about it for a moment. A single individual, the government is suing and bringing Yaya Bello, who is also in court for embezzling funds and money. You're going to bring a criminal, a thief, to come and testify against this lady from the same state. Isn't that, I mean, in what country does this happen? Shame on you, government of Nigeria. They need to withdraw this case and bring this woman back to wipe away the shame on their faces. It is a shame.
No, they are shameless. So there's no shame on them. They are shameless, clearly shameless. How can the Attorney General even start a case like that? The Attorney General, whose son? There must be madness somewhere.
There is crazy. It is absolutely crazy. It's crazy, honestly speaking. And it is a shame on the government of Nigeria to allow such a nonsense to take place. Honestly speaking. Shame on you, Senator Akpabio. And shame on you.
We have a gangster, we have a gangster government.
Yes.
We have a gangster group in government.
Let the truth be told.
Worse than the mafia.
What the heck? Are you crazy? The government is going after this woman that has been, and they have disenfranchised the state that she's from. And then a former governor who stole so much amount of money, the case is still in court. You're going to bring that person to testify against an innocent woman? Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
I think I won't be surprised if the government itself is setting itself up for ridicule, because when you bring people like Akpabio, who has an EFCC case of over 100 billion, and Yaya Bello, who also has a case of over 80 billion, to come and be prosecuting witnesses.
Can you imagine?
They are not credible witnesses.
Can you imagine? Can you just
Okay,
imagine that?
gentlemen, it's how ridiculous the case sounds in my ears too, that I took time to listen to you on it, and you both condemned it. So our viewers, this is it. This is where we are in our country, where the legal system doesn't look like it's efficient again. What trivial matters are what they carry as major issues, and the real major issues are not even addressed. Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. This is the end of the week, and I want to wish our viewers a beautiful weekend. George, what do you say before we go?
Well, I just want to wish the whole Nigerian government, the world around, let there be peace. Let's live in peace together. And may we just enjoy this weekend. This is my weekend, actually. This is a weekend that I enjoy, and I celebrate my birthday. So
it's your birthday, George. It's your birthday. What do we?
So let me,
All right.
Happy birthday in advance, Avi. I think it's tomorrow. Yes,
no,
yes.
Today actually.
It's today.
Whoa,
Okay, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday, man.
George, happy birthday. So viewers, let's do the happy birthday song for George. Raji, let's do it.
Biddy is not here, please.
Biddy is not here.
If Biddy was here, I will allow you to do that. But Biddy is not here. So I don't want any.
All right, then. Happy birthday, George.
I don't want
all the
frog
best
singing to me. You will mess up my joy. I'm just joking.
I did George wishes to all of us. Let us live in peace.
Thank you.
God bless
it doesn't cost us
Nigeria.
much to build peaceably with each other.
Yes.
Let there be peace. Let there be
God
peace in our
bless
hearts. Let there be joy in our hearts. God bless the whole
God
world.
bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless our president. Grant him wisdom to rule, to govern efficiently, effectively, and with equity and fairness all across Nigeria.
Nice. All right, guys. Happy birthday once again, George. Enjoy the day. God bless you. Raji, thank you so much for coming.
Pleasure, man.
Till we come again on Monday. Bye-bye.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.